Happy Monday, Inspire Beauty. We are here November 12th, almost halfway through the month. And I've got to be completely honest with you. I am drawing a blank as to what can I give the team? What knowledge can I drop on you guys? Because at the root of it all, you guys, everything is out there. There is not a single thing that is out there or that you have a question on in this business that isn't actually already laid out in front of you. And it kind of comes down to your own belief that if I actually do the training, if I actually, do what this coach says they're doing on the National Wake Up Call, or I actually implement this tracker that Brittany's given me, there's got to be a belief that it will actually work over time, right? No instant gratification here in this business. It is a business of longevity. It's a business of marathoning. And I'm not sure if anyone else here has experienced running races longer than a 10K, but when you train for a half marathon or a marathon, guys, it's all about endurance. Every single one of you who's on this call right now can run a marathon. Because it's not about your body being able to do it, because your body will be able to do it because you will train properly. It's about your mind. Can your mind do it? And so I'm going to be real. I don't think, I'm already saying this, I haven't even shown you the slides. I don't think I have any value to give you tonight. I personally feel like you guys could go to YouTube and learn so much more than you could from me tonight. So I kind of had a hard time creating this because I was like, what can I even give them? But I'm hoping that something within this will reign true for your business, or just give you that little extra nudge that maybe you've needed. So tonight it's all about growing your impact. And I wanted to start the slides out by sharing with you guys that in October, we had 34 Success Club points collectively as a team. And you'll see the Lives Change Club. So on the right-hand side is 1+ life changed. These ladies went out and changed at least one life last month. And on the left hand, you're going to see this would be at least 3 lives changed, right? They've hit Success Club 5 at least, and we're talking at least 3 lives. That's a total of 34 Success Club points, you guys. And what that looks like collectively as a team is that in October, 17 lives had the potential of being changed. Okay? And here we are in November, and I just want to give some comparison right now. Here we are halfway through the month in November, and we've got our 1+ life changed on this side. And then we've got our one rock star right now who's crushing it with at least 3 lives. She's on 4 lives. But you guys, collectively right now, that's 9 lives changed so far. And we're not quite halfway through the month. So how many are we going for? Not just as a Brittany goal or as, a goal that you write that's really fun to write out at the top of the month. I want to hit SC5, or I want to hit this. No. How many lives are we as a team really going to go for? What is the impact that we want to make? Because it's beyond numbers on a scoreboard. These are lives that are being changed. And if I go back, you guys, in a whole month, we hit 17 lives changed. We're already on track to surpass that. And so I personally want to challenge our team to surpass that this month. I want to hit at least 20, if not more. And I know that, guys, there's more than 60 coaches on our team. That's if every coach just had one person that they could impact their life for the better with a solution that we can provide. If every coach on our team took one person under their wing this month and said, do this with me, do the 3-day refresh with me, do the 3 weeks between, there's really 4 weeks, the 4 weeks between Thanksgiving and Christmas, and do it with me. Do it with me. That's something I've been saying in my invites a lot lately, you guys. When people are watching my story, I'll send them an invite directly from the story, because you can do that. You can message them when you're looking at who's viewed your story. Next to their name, there's a little paper airplane. That's the message button. And so you can tap that message button and it'll bring the story up that they viewed, and you can invite them directly from that. So at the end of my sequence of my workout, I'll say, girl, you should totally do this with me. I'm starting a new group after Thanksgiving. Do you want info? That's so basic. Girl, you should totally do this with me. It's not about hitting Success Club. It's not about getting points and getting dollar amounts in our bank account, you guys. It's about impacting lives. And when we say, let's do this with me, like, you got to really mean it too. Okay. So far we've got 9 lives changed. And I think we can really make a dent in this month. But this is like the most amazing time. I was talking to a coach this morning on a one-on-one that in about a week and a half, right after Thanksgiving, it's on, y'all. It is on like Donkey Kong, because that is the time when I am going, Transform 20 comes out for people to start getting their pre-orders and getting their steps in. And this ain't your mama's step program, y'all. Like, I've seen clips of some of the stuff that they're doing. Whoo, hot dog. Like, I've never seen anybody do that on a Stairmaster before. But there's a lot of stuff happening. And so if you're going to do, I asked the team to have 10 people do the 3-day refresh with me. I still have 7 spots left. So if you're like, you know what, I'm going to do that 3-day refresh, I'm going to show people, but why not pull somebody with you? And again, back to the fact that we have 60 plus people on Team Inspire Beauty. If every person said, do this refresh with me, and then continue on and do the next 3 weeks before Christmas with me, they can do 21 Day Fix. They can do 21 Day Fix Extreme if they're, conditioned for that. Shift Shop if they just need a little like hardcore preaching in their life from Chris Downing, or 3-week yoga retreat is also an option for people who are just like, I don't really want to kill myself working out. I've got enough on my plate. Do 3-week yoga retreat during those 3 weeks, right? De-stress. So there's so many options for you to plug somebody into that 3-week group that I'm hosting in between that time. But imagine if everybody on the team took one person and pulled them along with them and said, do this with me. How many lives would be impacted before the year's over? It's important that we remember, you guys, that every number, so when I show you those SC numbers, every one of those numbers has a name. And every name has a story. And I think that's what's so enticing and what I just love so much about Beachbody, and what brings me back for more, is that it's not about a number and then just a name, but then getting to know their story. And sometimes we're fortunate enough as coaches to truly get to watch someone's life transform. I've been watching Amber Tanner, if you guys are familiar with her, and she's not a PS coach of mine, but she's on our team. And Lift 4 freaking transformed her life. Transformed her life. I watched Kristen on our team and her cousin Ashley this year allow 80-day obsession to transform their lives. And then they went on and did Lift 4. I've watched Lindsay. She started this with 21 Day Fix, and it transformed her life because she let it. And they had a story. And once I was able, that first layer, you guys, usually when someone does a program with us the first time, or that first month, they're holding that protective layer on. We don't know their story yet. But as people start to shed the pounds, they start to open up on who they really are. Where were they before Beachbody? What was broken about them? What needed, what was the Mayday moment that needed fixing, that this offered them that chance? And so what impact, you guys, are you going to make this holiday season? I want to give you a couple tips of what I'm doing right now in terms of how I continue to stretch myself and grow myself so that my impact is greater. But I will remind you, and what I want to emphasize so badly tonight is that I can't make this impact by myself. I can, if you go back to this leaderboard, in October, we would have said that only 4 lives were changed. There were 13 lives that were changed that were not my doing. And same thing here. Right now, we would sit here and say 1 life has been changed, but because of everyone else who is making such an impact, 9 lives have been changed so far, and the potential for so much more. So just keep that in mind. Alone, Brittany can't do that much at all. So the first, there's just 3 little nuggets I got for you tonight, but the first one is never stop pushing. When we're talking about growing your impact, guys, never stop pushing. What does this look like? First of all, what is your SC goal? What was it this month? If your SC goal was you wanted to hit SC 10, my encouragement for you is, have you broken it down by each week? Because it's really exciting. And I've noticed, especially on our Business Builders page, we had a lot of momentum, SC 5 by the 5th. And that first week and a half or so, there was just great momentum happening. But now I've seen a little lull in the shouting things out and celebrating our victories and all that, ringing the bell and all that good stuff. And so I'm wondering are we coasting? Do we hit a certain spot and then we coast? Have you broken down your goal by each week? And if you, and this is kind of towards the bottom, but if you have hit this goal already, don't stop. Never stop pushing. Right? So maybe your goal, you thought you'd hit SC5, right, this month, and that was your goal, and then you've already hit it. Don't slow down, because then when you slow down, it's just that much harder to pick it back up. And if your goal was something lofty, like mine, you guys, I'll be full disclosure, mine is 20, and I'm at 2, so that's 18, and we're looking at just shy of 18 days left of the month. That means I need to, like, every other day sell a challenge pack, right? That's what that looks like. And so when I say it like that, I'm like, oh, okay, every other day I need to be selling a challenge pack. I need to get my butt in gear, right? It's important to lead by example. And I say this, you guys, regardless if you have a team, if you consider yourself a leader, if you have coaches that quote unquote work the business or not, if you have challengers or new challenge, like, get rid of all that. Lead by example and act as if. Act as if you are the top coach on this team, in this network. Act as if you have a downline of coaches that are looking to you for your example. Imagine, you guys, again, full transparency. I'm giving you guys full transparency tonight. I posted at about 4 o'clock what our Zoom was going to be. 5 minutes later, I thought to myself, Brittany, you should have just canceled, because I didn't want to show up. I want to lay in my bed right now, you guys, and just like keep going through like the shitty day that I feel like I've had. Like, that's how I feel. But that's not the example that I set for you guys. What if I didn't show up? This team would suffer if I didn't show up. What if the people who are on the leaderboard didn't show up? We wouldn't be making the impact. So don't sit on the sidelines and think, well, what I have to offer doesn't matter. Yes, it does. You have to show up. Show up for the future coaches, future challengers that you might have. But what would you expect of them? Do it yourself. Be the example. Another thing is setting puke goals. So I think when we go back to the very first bullet point about never stop pushing, is that I think sometimes we put our SC goals a little lower than maybe we lower the bar for ourselves to make it safe. Like, well, I think I can hit SC6, so I'm going to go for that. And I'll tell you guys, in the beginning of my business, hitting SC5 each month, and 5 was like a legit real thing, because most everything was not worth 2 points. Like, there were odd number of points. Now it's a little harder to actually hit SC5. SC6 is more like it. But back in the day, thinking about getting 3 new people every month was really hard for me. And I was like, well, how am I going to find them? And I hate to admit that, but I thought that all the time. Like, how am I going to find these people? Like, where are they? Guys, they're out there. If you don't know where they're at, go to Disneyland for a day and look around. They're out there. There's a lot of unhealthy people in this world. Go to an airport and look around. They're out there. Go to the mall at Christmas time. Those people are shelling out money, and they're so unhealthy. They're out there. So people are out there. But I think in the beginning, we set goals that feel safe for ourselves. Guys, set goals that make you want to puke, and don't hit them. It's an ego thing. If you set these high goals and you don't hit them, and then you think like, wow, well, I'll just lower the bar. Like, you got to lose the ego with that. 20 for me is a stretch right now, you guys. I'm typically around 10, 12 SC points, something like that. 20 is a stretch for me, but I do it every month, even if I don't hit it. And once I get to a place, hopefully a year from now, I can be having a very similar Zoom, and I can be sharing with you guys that I hit 20, 22 on the regular. And so a stretch for me is 40. And so I'll set a stretch. I want you to start stretching yourselves. And I kind of brushed on this earlier, but if you stop at a goal, all that it results in is lost momentum. And so if you find yourself hitting your goal before the buzzer's over, treat every day as if you're not there, right? Stretch yourself to see just how far you can go. And then it all comes down to how many invites do you send per day. Chatting with another coach on our team, she was, she didn't know how many invites she could send in a day. And then when she actually figured out a number, she's like, well, that was okay. Well, I can do it. I thought I could only do 10, but man, I was able to send out 30 invites in a day, super easy in one sitting. Like, I guess I can do that every day. I guess that's something I can do. And so we have to start stretching ourselves. If you are looking at this tracker is a little different now, but our business tracker used to say send 3 invites to a challenge group, send 3 invites to coaching a week. I hate to break it to you, but that's not enough. And I love how now it doesn't say, it says invite at least 5 people to join a challenge group, but I love how it gives minutes, because I like to just set the timer and see how many I can get done, or I love to challenge myself with how many lines I can fill out on a paper. On my particular tracker, you guys, I have crossed out what all of these headings are, and this is just all invites. It's not coach combos, client combos, it's not the combos that I used to have on there, which just shows how my business has evolved in the last year. A year ago, I had set it in place because that's what I needed. But now I need to challenge myself with how many people can I invite in a day? And there's 35 lines there. My goal every day is to send out those 35 invites, right? Do I always hit it? No. Do I pass it sometimes? Yes. But stretch yourself. Never stop pushing. The next one is never stop growing. And this is not growth in personal development ways. I'm talking about in your network. One thing I see new coaches make the biggest mistake on is they get really excited about posting on social media and inviting people to join them, that they forget about adding to their network. They focus so heavily on the people that they've already invited and following up with them, or focus so heavily on like that one person. I swear she's gonna buy it today. I swear she's gonna buy her challenge pack, that they forget to expand. You've got to continue to grow. So one way that I expanded, I'm going to show you a really quick tutorial on Instagram. So you can open up your Instagram while I'm sharing this, because I don't really have a screen for it. But when you're on Instagram, you guys, and you go to your profile, up in the top right, you'll see 3 lines. And then when you tap on that, you'll see an area that's called saved. Now, in the top right of the saved area, there's a plus sign. So tap that, and then call this new collection. You could call it New November Friends, or just November Friends. But we're gonna do it month by month, because after that it'll get a little lost. So name a collection like New November Friends, and then click next. And then once you do that, you should have your New November Friends as an album. Now this is kind of like Pinterest, you guys. No one will see this. I know on Pinterest people can see your boards, but like it's like a private Pinterest board. Like, you know, when you create the private ones, no one can see this. So under your November prospects or your New November Friends, whenever you add a new friend to your network, so let's just go to the search bar right now and just let's go under the hashtag, I don't know, let's do positive vibes only. That might be a terrible idea. Let's do, that's really big. Let's do, okay, lies. Tap on people. Guys, I am in the Explore page if you're not with me. So I'm searching on the Explore page, tap on people. You're going to search for people, and let's look up somebody that you follow as an influencer. So like I follow Joanna Gaines as an influencer. Maybe you follow the Tone It Up girls. Maybe you follow, I'm not going to call it a Beachbody influencer. Do not like tap in Autumn Calabrese, because you're only going to find Beachbody coaches. That's a terrible influencer idea. But tap on an influencer. So here I am at Joanna Gaines' page. I'm not going to use Joanna Gaines as like, I'm going to invite her to my next group. I'm going to use her because she's an influencer to find new people that I gel with. So I'm going to tap on her latest picture, and I'm going to look at her comments. Under her comments, you guys, I see, and the reason I'm looking at her comments is because these people are engaging with her. So they must, you know, they must not be too shy on social media. I'm going to tap on one of the people. Now, she seems like not a coach, because there's nothing in her profile that lets me know she's a coach. Usually it's a Mayday, like not Mayday, but I can pick out a coach from a mile away. And then if sometimes coaches have a terrible profile because their upline never taught them. Side note, if you don't have a very good profile on Instagram, you guys, go do a training that I've given you already on how to do that. Side note. But if you already have a profile that kind of looks like mine, most coaches who are actively working the business have a profile that looks like that. She does not. So I'm going to tap on one of her photos. I'm going to like it. I'm just going to double tap and like it. But next to her photo, if you notice, and this is really hard with the screen, but if you notice, that same flag that we used is next to it. So find somebody's photo who you're not friends with that has that flag. Her account is also small, you guys. I don't want an account that's huge because that person's not going to buy a challenge pack from me. They're already an influencer. So I'm going to tap on the flag and then and I'm going to hold it down. And then all of my little save to, like my Pinterest boards pop up, and I save it to my new November Friends one. And that's how I know that she won't get lost in the shuffle. So I'm expanding my followers, but I'm also strategically saving them in a location so that I never lose them, so that I don't just they don't get lost in the night, right? So that's how I expand my followers. I do that, you guys, I set a timer and I do that for a long time, 15, 20 minutes, right? But you need to do that every single day. So what's the next thing that you do with somebody like that? Well, the second that they follow you back, you should send a reach out to them because we never stop growing. Social media, when you are truly trying to build this business, social media is no longer about finding your best friend from high school and sharing like what you ate for lunch that day and then your political views. Like, you are a business owner on social media. So your reach out, so your friend requests, your reach outs, your invitations, it's all strategic. And if it's not, you're going to always feel like you're just spinning your wheels. It has to be strategic. My reach outs, once somebody friend requests me or follows me back on Instagram, right? My reach outs, I'm going to send them just like a kind message, something like, hey girl, thanks so much for following me. I love having other women, in my pipeline. Are you into fitness too? Or like, I might ask a little question like that, but nothing crazy. I'm not going to invite them right away, but I want to have a reach out that I say right away so that the conversation is able to open up. So every time somebody follows you back on Instagram, they should be getting a message from you so that you are now in their thought process. You are in their mind. From there, guys, after I send a reach out to somebody, 2 weeks later, they're going to get an invite from me. So if you learned the follow-up system that I taught last month, it's part of that. I'm going to put their name in my tracker, and I'm going to set the follow-up for 2 weeks, and I'm going to invite them in 2 weeks. Okay? There's 3 buckets that people can be reached out and invited from. New followers is a great reach out. I usually don't invite a new follower right away. That's when I would do a reach out to them just to see how they're doing. But the other buckets would be perfect for invitations. And those are people who are watching your stories and people who are liking and posting or engaging, liking or engaging on your posts. Yeah. And those people get invites. Those people are already watching you. They already know what you're doing. And if you're in this place right now where you're like, Brittany, I can't invite anybody because it's the same people watching my story or it's the same people liking and loving on my posts, then you have to go back to bullet number 1 and expand your followers on social media and make that the priority in your business until you start having more eyes on what you're doing. That's so important. And that's why I said I think that's a big mistake newer coaches make, is they're not putting value on the expansion and growing their network. And then we get to this place where we don't have any new eyes on our story. We don't have new eyes on our posts. So who do we talk to next, right? So always expanding. Following up, by the way, this whole thing that I did on Instagram, super easy on Facebook, because on Facebook, and I trust and believe in your ability to go YouTube this because that's how I learned how to do this, is that on Facebook, you can create groupings for people. Okay, so you can put all of your new November friends into a little group on Facebook so that when you click on your Facebook feed, it's only those people that show up. So if I want to see how coaches on Inspire Beauty are doing, I don't need to scroll through everybody on my feed and see things that I don't want to see and get stopped in my tracks. No, I create a group of just my Inspire Beauty coaches, and then I click on that tab when I want to check in on them, and then I can watch just them and like and love, and it's only them in my feed. So if that's something if you're only on Facebook right now, you can also do similar to what I just did for November and create groupings on Facebook so that that's all you're looking at. And then follow-up tracking. Have you stuck to this since I taught it? Right? If you learned the tracking procedure that I use about a month ago and you haven't done anything with it since, go back and rewatch it and make it a goal of yours to start implementing it, because that is helping me so much with who am I talking to, what am I supposed to say to them today, and not letting anyone fall through the cracks, because that's a big mistake that I made for far too long in my business. And the last one is never stop learning. When we're growing our impact, you guys, we've got to lean in. We've got to lean into learning. Leaning into learning for me, like when I know that I'm leaning into learning, I have a posture that's different. I'm not sitting back, not laying down in my bed. Like if one of you were leading this Zoom and it wasn't me, I'd have my pen and paper out. Well, actually pencil, because I don't write in pen typically, but I'd have my notebook out and my pencil in hand. I would be leaning into what I was learning. I wouldn't be distracted. My phone wouldn't be in my hand looking at stuff on social media when I'm actually supposed to be focused on this. So are you leaning into your learning? Are you leaning into all the resources that have been available to you on the Girl Boss Bootcamp, which is like our new coach university? If you've done every lesson, if you've done the Rock the Basics with me or any of those trainings, you've done all of them, but you still feel stuck, have you done them again and again and again? One of the best parts of my business in the beginning was that every month when there was a Push to Emerald group, I was in it. Every month when there was a new Coach Basics group, I was in it. Even if I'd already done it before and done all the information, because obviously I wasn't doing something right. There was something I was missing. And so if you feel like you're stuck, guys, are you leaning into the learning that's available to you? Never stop learning. Every single day, I'm on YouTube trying to find a new video for myself to grow in my business. Where am I struggling, Brittany? What are you struggling with? And I find it. And I take notes, diligent notes. But then, are you an absorber of info? Or do you actually go out and take action? So when you watch the National Wake Up Call, when you watch something like this, do you sit here and take those diligent notes, right? And absorb the info, and then that's it? Or do you take something from the National Wake Up Call and say, I really like that idea she said. Now, disclaimer, not everything I say tonight applies to every aspect of your business or your life, right? You have to take from it what actually applies to you and what is like feasible for you to do in this moment, right? So I never give these Zooms to throw like a learning curve at you that like, oh my gosh, I have to reinvent everything. I have to scrap it all and start over again, right? A lot of times when I catch myself listening to a video and I'm like, man, I got to redo my entire Instagram. I've been doing it wrong this whole time. I'm like, nope, hold up, Britt. You are overanalyzing. Like you need to stop absorbing this info and actually go out and take a piece of it into action. Not all of it, but a piece of it. Challenge groups. Are you constantly evolving and growing and learning how to run better challenge groups? One of the things I think that's really important for our team right now is to start taking ownership of running your own groups too. And I love seeing people like say, hey, we're collaborating, like we're collaborating together. We're going to go out and do these groups together. You don't have to do them all by yourself, but I think that it's important that if you're always waiting for someone to tell you when the next challenge group is going to begin, you're not actually like growing in this business, right? You're not growing the impact that you could have. In order to grow the impact you're going to have to go out and do things that are super uncomfortable sometimes. And that can actually fail and you flop and you fall on your face and maybe your challenge group's silent. Who cares? Then you do better the next month, right? You figure out a different system. Social media branding and your voice. I'm constantly working on making sure that like social media is who I am, is what I want to look like. And if you're not comfortable with your social media just yet, are you learning in that? Are you leaning into the learning of that? Same thing with scripts and invites. Maybe you're really uncomfortable with what do I say next? Are you leaning into the learning of how to do this and actually taking action on it? not just learning every script and absorbing every invite that you can get, but practicing them. Okay, I got an invite that I really liked. I'm going to go out and I'm going to use it on 50 people today, right? Systems. This is another one. As you start to grow in your business, there are so many systems. Systems for how you onboard challengers, systems for how you onboard coaches, systems for how you do your power hour every day, systems for how you train your new coaches, systems for how you personally hit Success Club, systems for how you manage out your month, right? What does your marketing calendar look like? How does your month flow? Systems for everything, you guys. But if you're sitting here and you're like, I don't have a system for like how to have a new coach join my team, well, what happens on the day when your new coach joins your team? Or I don't have a system for what happens when I get a new challenger. Well, what are you going to do when you get a new challenger, right? So systems are super important too. Like, do you have systems in place that you can duplicate to your people? Because again, those numbers the impact, it won't grow if we're not all on board growing it. And systems help duplication to happen. And then prepping for a new week, a new month, a new year. How do you do that? How do you prep for your new week? Is there a certain day? Do you sit down on Sundays and you prep out your new week? Looking at what you want to accomplish by the end of the week. Do you have a system or a time frame for how you look at a new month? Are you already looking ahead at December because we're almost halfway through November? What is your next game plan? Do you have a game plan after, like I told you, we've got a week and a half until Thanksgiving. What is and then I said it's on. But do you have that same fire? Do you know what's on and popping once Black Friday hits? Do you know what you're inviting to? Do you have stuff ready for that? And if the answer is no, don't wait for somebody to give it to you. Don't wait for somebody to give it to you. What about the new year? Are you already looking at January? Is my planner's about to run out? And my tracker notebook is about to run out. And so it's about this time of year where I don't want it to run out and then I don't have plans beyond. I've got to get a new planner ready. I've got to get a new tracker book ready. It's all got to be ready so that when the new year comes, it's a flow. I'm not stopped in my tracks, right? And so always, and learning, when I say learning, I just mean expanding ourselves, being better, being a better coach than you were the week before, being a better coach than you were a month before. And I guess that's the question for you. That I want to pose here is, are you a better coach than you were in October? 12 days into November, are you a better coach than you were last month? Are you better? Will you be on track to be a better coach by 2019, right? Or will you kind of still be in the same place that you've been in? And if that's the case, what is it going to take for you to move to the next level, right? And that, unfortunately, is something that no one else can answer but you. But the impact that we have as a team, you guys, when we can all collectively just say, you know what, I'm not going to stop learning. I'm not going to stop growing my network and getting out there and inviting people. I'm not going to stop doing that. And I'm not going to stop pushing you guys for big goals, because again, every number that we have, they're a name, and every name has a story. And we have the power, you guys, to make such a huge impact. And alone, you can do so little, but together, so much. Yeah, YouTube does suck, but unfortunately, I don't have an upline to give me information, so I have to go to YouTube, to get better. Any questions tonight, you guys? Anything? Like I said, I don't feel like tonight had much to it. I love you guys more than YouTube also.
I don't have a question, but I will say that's really good. That's a good way to think of it. That's a good way to have it in front of you. Because sometimes it is just numbers.
Say that again? Say that last part again?
Sometimes you do think about just numbers, but there really is a person. You're really, it's a person.
And like I said in the beginning, a lot of times people don't allow us past that hard exterior shell in the beginning, and so we don't get to see it all the time. But there have been so many breakthroughs this year in people that lives have been impacted that we've gotten to see past that hard exterior. And so the more we can continue to find those people and foster, that belief in what this solution can do for them, it just makes it so much more rewarding too. This weekend, there's a conference that I went to called Hero Maker, and my pastor actually, I went to it at my church, and my pastor's actually rounding out the year as that being the theme, Hero Maker, but it's ultimately, it's a book. Hold on. Got it right. It's a book, and I haven't actually read the book yet. I mean, the 5 principles were talked about at the conference we went to. The reason I haven't read the book is because it's really about church planting. And so like Charlie and I went to this event, and then we kind of found ourselves in an event that we were like, are we really supposed to be here right now? This is about church planting. But principles were very relevant because it's about how to multiply leaders. And that was a big thing that he talked about, is that like, that if we're raising, like, it's not about us. We actually got bracelets this weekend that says INAM, and it stands for it's not about me. So like my pastor passed these out. It's not about me. And it's not. On Inspire Beauty, if I had just preached like on what I did in October, what I did in November, it'd be really, really sad. But because we have other people lifting up and being heroes and contributing and accomplishing things, it's multiplying. So it's pretty incredible. I love that. So anyway, that's all that I have tonight, you guys. Any other questions before I?
Can I say something else?
Yeah.
Okay. That was me. She was talking about the numbers. And so I will give you my statistics for last week and let you joggle your mind on it, because this is how much it takes. 4 days a week, 30.
You're breaking up on us.
I'm having like back and forth email conversations with only 10.
Go back to how many your original was. It broke up for a second.
Can you hear me?
Yep. You're just frozen, but I can hear you.
Sorry, y'all are frozen. 120.
120.
For last week. I only did like 10 on Friday, so I'm not even going to count that as a day because I just did it while John Wayne was buying a truck. So 120 original and only 10 back and forth email conversations through the weekend and into this week. So it takes a lot.
It does.
And I'm just now like really digging my heels into realizing like it takes a lot. Like it's easy to say, but it's another thing to do it.
Yeah.
So.
And we're going to dive into like what objections look like and how to get past all that in the fear later this month. But yes, it like everyone you see on that board, it's not because they just asked one person and they're like, yeah, sure. Like, no, we're like, they're putting in the work, you know? Thank you for sharing that. All right. It says less than a minute. It's going to kick us out. I want to quick take a picture if it doesn't kick me out. Let's smile. Thank you, ladies, for being on tonight. I appreciate it. 3, 2, 1. Appreciate you so much. Thank you so much for being on live with me. And if you have any other questions, take it to the team page.
Thank you.
Bye, guys.